Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, Cynicalex, and today we're going to be talking about Battleworld. Now, I apologize for not making this video earlier because Battleworld is actually just about to end, but I wanted to cover Battleworld for a few reasons. One, they actually changed the rewards in Battleworld to tier 3 materials for this round. Now, this doesn't mean they're going to permanently change Battleworld, and I would like to see them cycle through rewards because they actually do have a decent variety of rewards now. They have tier 3 material. With this one, they have tier 3 materials. They have level 5 XP chips and level 3 XP chips, biometrics. There's quite a few different types of rewards. And again, I'm just focusing on the rewards from 0%, like these rewards here that everyone will get. I'm not focusing on these rewards because literally only 103 players are ever going to get those rewards, right? So yeah, it's not really, you know, it's nice to see people are going to get 100 plus those whatever 13 people are going to get 100 plus CCF, which is a lot. But what I want to focus on is right here, because what you can actually do in Battleworld is you can double dip if you have a large enough roster. Now, again, you have to have a large enough roster, and you can sort of mitigate this by building your characters more for PvP, or you can mitigate this by also playing manually versus playing on auto. But essentially, if you saw from the splash page here, I have a similar number of points in both of the battle worlds, the Falcon male and the Taskmaster villain. Now, the Taskmaster villain, my points are a little bit lower because I lost one match, I believe, so I lost those points. But essentially, I'm double dipping because I want to get the 0 to 9% rewards on both. Right now, I'm in the teens for both, I believe. Yeah, I'm in the 14% percentile and the 19th percentile for these ones. But if I can push just under the 9th percentile, I will be able to get 100 TCP and 100 EOD. That's really good, right? 100 of each tier 3 material is basically like an extra day's worth of world boss runs. So just by playing Battleworld 15 times in each one, which doesn't take very long, and because I can auto it, I can do it while I'm brushing my teeth or doing something else or whatever. I can basically just get an extra day's worth of tier 3 materials that I otherwise would not be able to get, and that's going to add up over time, right? So again, if you don't have a full roster, if you don't have enough of the required characters at high level, then obviously you're going to have some difficulties. But as you can see here, this is my team that I'm using. I have to use Captain America Falcon, but I'm using Sentry Hulk, Ebony Maw, and then Blue Marvel in this case. However, you could, in some cases, and this is how you can maximize your value if you don't have a full roster, you can double dip. So in this case, I have everyone except Captain America Falcon and Ebony Maw built for PvP. Like, I built Sentry, I built Hulk, and now I built Blue Marvel for PvP. However, Sentry and Blue Marvel are heroes. And over here on the other battle world, usually they do one hero, one villain, or one male, one female battle world. I can't use Sentry or Blue Marvel, but I can still use Hulk. So I'm double dipping and using Hulk twice. If you look over there on that side, there are other characters that I could potentially use twice. For example, Mephisto, Null, Thanos, right? Those 3 characters, for example, right? If I had built those 3 characters for PvP, I could use Ebony Maw again if I wanted to, for example. So you can see how I'm actually, you know what? I am going to use Ebony Maw here instead of Captain Marvel. You can see how you can double dip and you can maximize your wins, and you can, you don't have to necessarily give 10 different characters a PvP build, right? You can give a smaller number of those characters a PvP build and still be able to do PvP in both, timeline and something like Battleworld. So we're just gonna jump in and I'm gonna do my 10 fights now while I'm talking to you guys. But essentially, double dipping and dividing your fights, basically just doing 5 a day whenever the Battleworld comes up, whether it's for tier 3 materials or for something else, doing 5 a day in each one rather than stacking all of your fights on one is the way to maximize your Battleworld rewards. That's why I said I should have told you guys this sooner, because now you can't really take advantage of that anymore for this Battleworld anyways. But you can definitely take advantage of it for future Battleworlds. I've mentioned this in Battleworld videos before. I don't make Battleworld videos that often, to be honest with you, because it's pretty much a done deal as far as the game mode goes. Like, it's sort of, cut and dry what you got to do. But the only way I would say not to, or the only situation in which you wouldn't want to do 5 in one and 5 in the other, is if you just don't you don't have a team for one of them, right? If you're gonna lose more than 20-30% of your matches in one of the battle worlds, then it's probably best to just skip it, right? But I would say try for the first day, try and see. Usually, actually, your first couple of matches you're gonna win anyways, because you're gonna get paired up with someone that's either a bot or has like a very underdeveloped account with mostly tier 2 characters. You want to bring tier 3, you want to bring transcended characters, of course. Having them with PvP builds also helps tremendously. A couple of things to note about Battleworld that I'll just mention now, because it's not it's not bad to repeat it, because people do forget and new people come in or returning players come in and they forget. Battleworld doesn't take into account leaderships. So even though I'm putting Sentry as my first character, Battleworld doesn't care what his leadership is. There's no leadership slot in Battleworld because there's no leadership. There is passive effects. So Ebony's passive that applies to all allies on his from his uniform and gives them increased damage to universals and decreased damage received from universals, that is applying to Hulk and Captain America Falcon and Sentry and Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel's passive that applies to all allies and increases damage against characters who have debuffs, etc. That's also applying. And the mockery thing, that is also applying. But I'm gonna refresh this team here because I don't like the look of it. Colossus, double support. Mephisto could be kind of scary. You can refresh too. Okay, let's go. But yeah, so leaderships do not work in Battleworld at all, but passives do. So passives like Ebony's, passives like Blue Marvel's, passives like Victorious, Red She-Hulk, Wasp, any kind of passive that applies to some or all allies. You could bring in the Defenders, for example. You're not going to get Luke Cage's leadership, but you are going to get Jessica Jones's passive, and you're going to get Luke Cage's Ignore Dodge passive, which is not that great, but it's something, right? So we're going to do one more battle here. And well, actually, you know what you can do? Here's another thing you can do. So passives and leaderships, passives work, leaderships don't. Taskmaster's passive works, Venom's heal passive works, etc. Another thing you can do to, again, maximize your value is for this Captain America Falcon Battleworld, I never had a problem. I won every single match, but I'm actually having problems in the Taskmaster one, wherein I lost already once. So what you can do, you're gonna get a little bit less gold for doing this, but I'm already in the top 5%. The chances of me dropping out of the top 9% at this point are extremely low. Like, there's only 3 hours and 5 minutes left. There's not going to be that many players coming in to push me out of the rank that I'm in away from 9%. Because really, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm just aiming for 100 Essence of Dimension. So what I can actually do in this case is I could have stopped at 7. I could have stopped after 3 wins. I stopped after 4 wins. Now I can go over here and I can actually play my 5, or I can play even 6. It actually didn't even update here. I can play 6 and wow, Moonstone, and it'll give me a better chance not only of getting to the 9th percentage, winning more fights, winning back the points that I had lost, that sort of put me behind the 8 ball right now. So this one's a little bit more difficult for me, to be honest, this grouping, because I don't have Sentry, and Sentry pretty much hard carries any team. So without Sentry, relying on villains is kind of tough. I would like to use Captain Marvel because I think she's really cool, but I don't have her built up for PvP, so yeah. And she's cool because she also has that crazy damage increase to villains. In general, this Battle World is going to go a lot faster and be a lot more, swingy, because every team is going to have Taskmaster, so every team is going to do a lot more damage, right? So you could be winning and then boom, suddenly you have like a big loss, and vice versa. You could be losing and then you get one lucky hit off and you're winning. I'm going to be dodging Mephisto teams because, well, that's tough too because of Colossus. But let's just see what happens. He doesn't have Ebony and I do have Ebony, and most of his powerhouses are universal. I could still lose this one for sure. I basically need my Hulk to hard carry, which it looks like he's doing right now against Thanos. Oh, there goes Molecule Man. My Hulk is still tanking. Almost kills enemy Hulk. Oh no, don't die, don't die, don't die. We killed his Hulk, we killed his Thanos. Okay, whoa, that That was close. My Hulk went into the red. You couldn't see him on screen, but I was just watching his HP bar. He went into the red. So from just those 3 fights, let's just monitor my ranking here. I am now ranked 7. I'm in the 7th% rank. So here at this point, I could probably stop. Again, with 3 hours left, you're probably not going to move more than 1%. 1% would put me at 875, which is still pretty close to being knocked out. So I'm actually going to... Nah, not against a double native tier 3. No, Corvus is actually really good for this as well, because when he when he revives, he pops his awakening, and that usually kills a lot of people. But yeah, any team that has Mephisto, no, yeah. And the thing is, Battleworld is essentially free. I actually had someone... Oh, that team could be rough. There's not a lot of villains with physical reflect. I just realized that. I was gonna say Luke Cage would mop up that team, but he will not mop up that team without without being a villain. You can't use Luke Cage. Another thing I wanted to point out, I haven't used him yet, but Dr. Doom is actually really good for Battleworld, because a lot of characters don't have, like, even though there are a lot of characters now that have iframe ignore, there are also a lot of characters that don't have iframe ignore. In this case, Captain Marvel. Oh, okay, I won. But yeah, a lot of characters in Battleworld still don't have iframe ignore, especially ones that are used in Battleworld these days. So, for example, on this team that I'm fighting, Captain Marvel is the only character, and Hulk, that has iframe ignore. But basically, a lot of times it'll end up where the team you're fighting doesn't have iframe ignore. So Dr. Doom is really good because his 5th skill has a really, really long animation. So even if it's 1 versus 2 and it looks like you're losing, right? Because you just have Dr. Doom left and they have 2 enemies left, like they have Thanos and Apocalypse left or whatever, you can still win sometimes with Dr. Doom because you just pop the 5 and you don't cancel. Like you turn off autoplay, of course. And you pop the 5, and then the enemies just stand there and take the damage. And in Battleworld, because no leadership and because of other factors, the fact that you don't have any of the timeline battle buffs, you can sometimes pull off some pretty cheeky wins. Wow, that Proxima buff is kind of scary. We'll try it out here, but I think I should be fine. We should be able to nail the 9% rewards. For those of you that don't know what the timeline battle buffs are, I'll show you what the timeline battle buffs are in a second, but let me just see how this one goes. I kind of want to lose or almost lose so I can show you guys what the Dr. Doom strategy looks like, but I think we're gonna win here. He only has Molecule Man left, and Molecule Man doesn't have iframe ignore either, so Molecule Man would be a good example of this. But yeah, I think we won. If you've seen my Twitch streams, you've seen what Dr. Doom can do in Battleworld. He's won me so many fights that I thought I was about to lose. So yeah, we ended up, let's take a look here. Top 5% for the male Battleworld and top 2% for the villain Battleworld. So again, if I wanted to be even more careful, I would have stopped with 1 fight left when I was 4% on the villain Battleworld, and I would have done 1 more on the male Battleworld to sort of balance them out. But this way, where I have about 2,200, 2,300 points in each one, I'm guaranteeing myself these are top guaranteed rewards, right? I'm not going for the top 100 on any of the Battleworlds. Honestly, the way that Battleworld works as far as point calculation, you have to play at the very beginning of the day every single time, like the very beginning of the daily reset on every single day of Battleworld. I'm not giving you guys too many tips about that because it's very, very sweaty, because players will literally log in the second of the daily reset and go and just play their 10 Battleworlds in one or the other, going for those top ranks. Also, going for the top ranks means you're sacrificing anything else. Now, for some people, yeah, it's preferable, right? Even if you're just getting top 100, right? Let's say you get knocked down out of the top 10 or whatever. You can get 100 or 150 CCF, but then you don't get any Essence of Dimension and you don't get any Titan component packs. Honestly, for some players, 100 CCF is worse or not as good as 100 of both of the other tier 3 materials. Now, you can get the other tier 3 materials from story mode fragment farming, but you can get a lot of CCF from Null and Mephisto. So it kind of balances itself out in different ways. Anyways, last thing I want to talk about here before we go, timeline battle buffs that don't apply in Battleworld. If you go over here to this screen and then you go to the top right hand corner just under the leadership, there's a thing there that says combat speed blast universal bonus. and you click on that, and whoa, a bonus that applies to all characters who participate in the timeline battle. So you've probably never seen this before if you don't investigate every button in the game, because why would you click that button? But yeah, your characters have 50% max HP. Well, my characters 50% max HP, 50% all defense, 50% all attack, and 50% debuff reduction. Yeah, it's a pretty busted buff that you don't get in Battleworld, which is why your characters might seem weaker in Battleworld. Your characters might die faster in Battleworld. Also because it's 2 versus 2, so your character is being exposed to potentially the skills of 2 enemies at the same time. So yeah, hopefully that's been helpful / interesting / fun / informative. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.